For an autistic person, there's such a deep connection with it. I want it etched into my bones, and the closest thing I can get is having it etched into my skin.
I'm Tash.
I'm Matthew.
And we are the owners of Bleeding Hearts Tattoo. We wanted you to step in and maybe feel like you're in your auntie's house.
The vibe in the shop is just really nice and friendly.
These guys are my safe space, they are my best friends.
We wanted everybody to feel comfortable, so regardless of your age, your gender, your like diagnoses.
We have things like fidget toys and disposable earplugs, so if they have like noise or sensory issues.
I definitely think that there is a link between being neurodiverse and getting tattoos.
It's a way for neurodivergent people to express themselves.
I'm Evelyn, I'm 19, I use any pronouns, and I'm a student. I got informally diagnosed very early in secondary school. I got sent to the school counsellor because of my behavioural issues. I was on the wait list for maybe 4 years. I had a quick chat with an adult who asked me if I thought anyone else in my family was autistic, and I confidently said my dad, and so did my mother. After that, they asked me to talk about something I was interested in. I waffled about meatloaf for about an hour and then they let me go, and that was it.
Hi, see Evelyn?
Shut your door.
It's not you, it's we've got a dodgy door.
Oh, okay.
My name is Tash, I'm 31 and I am one of the co-owners of Bleeding Hearts Tattoo, and I'm also a tattoo artist. I was at home watching Ink Master. Any of you who have watched it, questionable show, however. I was watching it with Matt and I said to him, like, this is what I want to do. This is what I drew up for you. I was really excited when you said you like the idea of like gothic design and religious imagery. Black work, I would say my style is. I really love tattooing, either like botanical elements, anything witchy inspired.
I'm getting an eye in sort of like a woodcut cross star design. It's really, really cool. It will be my 21st eye on my body. The eyes on the top of my feet are in sets of 3, so I'm counting them as 1 for 1 foot, 1 for the other instead of 6. So it's a lot of eyes. I'm
going to do all of the outer lines a little bit thicker and have some areas where it's a little bit darker. And then the eye, I want to add in a little bit of stipple shading because my plan is for the star bit to kind of look like it's in the background and then the eye to be pushed forward so it looks really like creepy and cool.
The eye design is from the podcast or audio drama The Magnus Archives. It surrounds these fears of humanity that have become entities, and one of them is the eye. It's called the Ceaseless Watcher, which is super cool. Love that.
I've not listened to it, but Matt and I said that it sounds really interesting and that he thinks that he'd like it, so I think we're going to give it a listen.
There's a lot of queer neurodiverse characters of all ages, of all sexualities, of all races and religions, and they all go through the same thing and they all react in so many different ways, so there's someone that you will really relate to.
I'll print this out in a few different sizes for you and then we'll have a play around in front of the mirror and see where you'd like it to go. Is that all okay?
Yes, there's definitely a link between tattoos and neurodivergency. I think because people will treat us like we're alternative, whether we look it or not, we might as well look it.
We show so much expression in the way that we dress and the way that we look, whether that is getting tattoos, getting piercings, dyeing our hair, changing our wardrobes. I think it just helps us to find who we really feel like we are.
And I also think with like special interests, you know, obviously neurotypical people have things that they love and are really passionate about. For an autistic person, there's such a deep connection with it that for me, like I say, I want it etched into my bones, and the closest thing I can get is having it etched into my skin.
Have you got any plans for your other leg?
So, yeah, I think I do have a plan for this big main strip. There's a Birmingham clock tower at uni. Have you seen Old Joe?
No,
He's
but I can
basically just one big clock tower and then a big square thing. A little bit like a Big Ben. Even when I was very, very young, sort of, early primary school, I'd been attaching myself to characters in books and stuff who are neurodivergent or who are often thought to be. I read Sherlock Holmes when I was very, very young. And yeah, I was very hyperlexic because I loved reading, and I thought, this is how I'm going to make friends. I'm going to speak like Sherlock Holmes for the rest of my life. This will work. I think it was pray tell was the phrase I used, which must have made me sound so obnoxious, but kids at that age think you're cool when you do that. They're like, oh my god, you're like a character. And then you get a bit older and kids realise, ooh, characters aren't real. This is strange. I think it's definitely around the age of like 10 to 12 that kids start noticing something is off.
I'm going to give you a little shave first of all, babe, just to get rid of any baby hairs on the back of your leg.
Oh yeah, it's not even baby hairs, it's just full on hair. Secondary was not fun. I struggled mostly with maths. I've got dyscalculia and numbers don't really mean anything to me, so time, space, amounts, all of that is just sort of nonsense in my head, like a different language. I specifically remember telling one of the maths teachers that I was learning more from my book than I was from him, which I realise now is not very nice to say to a teacher who's trying their hardest, but at the time I believed it to be true, so I thought, well, I'm trying to help him out here, I'm just trying to explain that what I'm doing is actually really helpful to me, just reading Jane Eyre when I should be doing maths.
I think so, but I just want a second opinion.
Can I get you just to spin that way, just ever so slightly for me?
I'm deaf as a post, so I can hear people saying things, but I'm not sure what it is.
We are checking to make sure that your design is straight.
Cool, they're checking to make sure my design is straight.
I think what is probably throwing your eye off is the fact that this point wobbles ever so slightly in that direction.
Yeah. Okay, turn around, have a look in the mirror, babe. You happy?
Yes.
I'm happy.
Yay.
Amazing.
More eyes. Everyone at work was like, you getting another tattoo? I was like, yeah. They're like, what are you getting? I was like, well.
I'll give
So.
you 3 guesses, but you'll only need 1.
Yeah, I'm a little bit. To be fair, all my others are music based, so it could have been music based, but it isn't. It's another eye.
Are you ready, babe?
Yeah. Uni has been so much better. You tick one box on a thing that says, yep, I'm diagnosed autistic, and it opens up a whole host of different pathways and different teachers who can help you. I was given a support worker like the first week of uni who helped me from things such as how to figure out exam timings to like how to use the washing machine. She was lovely. Big up Megan. So
Big up our Meg.
yeah.
My son's at nursery at the minute. He's got like an unofficial support worker, I guess. Like he has a one-to-one. Ziggy is autistic. He doesn't have a formal diagnosis yet because of his age. So we had an assessment with speech and language, but because he's hyperlexic, so he's 4 years old, but he speaks at sort of like a 6-year-old age. They won't give him a formal diagnosis. So right now we're in limbo.
But then he's really lucky because he's got, you to sort of fight for him, I guess.
Yeah. He's got 2 neurodivergent parents.
There we are.
I realised that I had ADHD in 2021 after the birth of my son. And I did some research and I found that it's really common for people who have children to kind of realise that they're neurodivergent, and it's because our brains just can't hold on to everything that comes with having a child. Originally I had a diagnosis of depression and then anxiety, and then I think I was in my early 20s when I got the diagnosis of borderline personality disorder.
Oh, are you borderline as well?
I am.
Cool.
Does yours stem from childhood trauma too?
Probably. That's definitely been the hardest thing. I think coupled with the autism, I've already got very black and white thinking, and then the borderline is categorised by black and white thinking, so it's just everything is completely lacking nuance a lot of the time, which can be very stressful.
I can kind of switch off my empathy and I can become quite cold in situations where I feel unsafe. So for example, if I'm arguing with somebody or if I feel like I'm in a dangerous situation, it's almost like a switch goes off in my brain, and it almost turns me into a completely different person, which can be quite scary.
I think, to be fair, the autism's definitely linked, isn't it? Like, if you're bullied from such a young age, something is gonna
It
be
literally
affected.
alters your brain.
There needs to be more in place to stop bullying. So I know that the school I went to a couple years after I left got an Ofsted report that was truly terrible in terms of safeguarding and bullying and all that kind of thing. So I know that I had very bad luck in where I went to school, but at the same time, all schools are not doing enough. We watched, a 3-minute video in PSHE about don't bully gay people, and that was it. They were like, right, that's your education, don't do it.
In mainstream schools, they just need the extra support. And I think it's important so that those kids don't go under the radar. They aren't just labelled as problematic or difficult. Their brains just work differerly, and they need support to make sure that they thrive in an environment that isn't built for them. We are all done, babe. Wahoo! So I'm going to give it a really good clean, and then I'll let you hop up and have a look in the mirror.
Lovely job. I always think of when they go on the chase and they lose and they go, I've had a lovely day out, Bradley. That's what they always say. Even if they've lost £5 million, it's always, I've had a lovely day out, Bradley.
It's a great thing that more people are getting diagnosed, because it means there's more awareness of these conditions, there's more information available, there are more resources. That whole narrative of, this didn't exist in my day. My dad has 2 sheds full of woodworking tools that he's never used. If that man is not autistic...
It's definitely good for me. I'm somebody who really likes labels. I like to put things in little boxes. It makes me feel very secure. The worst part, I think, about growing up neurodivergent is that you know something's off, but you don't know what, and everybody else knows that too. And so it's nice to have a label that isn't just off-putting. Sure, I can still be off-putting, but there's other reasonings behind it. You know that you aren't just... There's not, so to speak, something wrong with you. There's just something different.
I think it looks so cool.
It is so cool. Nice.
Thank you so much.
Brilliant. Thank you. You did it.
And you should be so proud of yourself. You smashed it.
Yay. It's been very lovely. Everyone's been so nice, and I love getting tattooed. It's just kind of cathartic in a strange way.
The high statistical rate of autism in the trans community can be really easily explained if you recognise that the data being sampled is utter rubbish.